Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jenna and I'm so excited to have you here. Today we're going to do what I call a sit and stitch. So I'm going to work on one of my projects. It is an embroidery project for my sister-in-law and chat with you about a few topics. So if you have a project you've been meaning to work on or like a house project that you want to put me on the background for, why don't you go ahead and grab that and we'll get started. Okay, so first I want to fill you in on the project I'm working on. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know I am repurposing a bag from my wedding for my sister-in-law. It is close to being done. I'm just doing a last little row down here, some detail spots, and then putting their initials and the wedding date on it. Because of how long it takes me to stitch, I'll probably only get like one leaf done today, but you know, progress is progress. So I will get started on that. I have my thread in just this plastic container from Walmart. Okay, I think I was using, let's see, this, yeah, that looks right, this like dark sage. If you're curious, it is DMC's 3022. I really liked it for like the sage green, but she's more eucalyptus color, so I don't think I nailed it 100%. But let me show you the like transition. Oh. The transition of like, here is the back where I was doing more of those kind of sagey colors, and then when I flipped to the front, I found eucalyptus or like a closer color, so I switched there. But I'm doing some transitions up so that the front and the back look like a little bit more in line. It is very much a, here's the warm tone side and here's the cool tone side. Also, you'll notice that I have this microphone going. I trust the iPhone microphone, but I trust it well enough to pick up all the construction that's going on in the apartment below us. Can you hear that saw? So I'm hoping that the mic on the headphones will, you know, not pick up as much of that sound, but if it does, I apologize. I think they're doing it like literally right outside my door. So that is what it is. I'm always tempted to not use my needle minder, and then of course I always lose my needle, so I'm going to try to be good about that today. For the topics I want to chat about today, I want to talk about my second month on YouTube. The last sit and stitch was at about the 1 month mark, so I thought I could give you another update. The second thing I want to talk about was changing my name post-marriage, and then lastly, a potential Disney trip next week. So I will get into each of those topics and put a little name card in front of them. So if you're only interested in one or two of them, you can jump around, but I hope you stay for all three. Okay, so the first thing I want to fill you in on is my second month here on YouTube, which has been very exciting. I grabbed my agenda where I kind of put down my YouTube tracking. Also, just shameless plug, look how cute this little bookmark I made was. That is a different video that I can link, but I just think he turned out so cute and he's just so festive for Halloween this week. Okay, so as a reminder for month one, let me go back. Month one was September. I put up 8 videos, 4 shorts. I got 2 additional followers. It looked like 4 because I subscribed twice, unlike my other accounts, but I got 2 non-me subscribers. And my top video was a stencil video with 46 views. I was really happy with that. I think I made improvements on lighting and camera and editing and background, just like all of it. And that was really fun. And then this month is October. And so far I have posted, okay, not exactly 20, but like, you know, 15 more, which is exciting. My videos are getting a few less views than they were in the beginning. So I want to figure out, you know, how to keep improving them. But I do think that the quality is getting a little bit better. I'm doing less how-tos because honestly, like I'm a beginner embroiderer and I think that that's not like the most authentic type of content. And instead I'm doing what I'm calling project vlogs. So a video where I'm doing some sort of like embroidery project as a beginner. And I think that that is more true to like where I'm at. So even though that change hasn't led to as many, you know, to more subscribers or more views, I think it's more authentic, which overall, if I get better at editing those videos and producing those videos, I hope that they find their right audience and people enjoy them. So we'll see. That's my plan for this month. Or my plan right now, I should say, is to like keep going with that this month, and we'll see where it lands. I'm very open to like making adjustments, seeing how things go, but I don't want to feel like I'm like chasing trends. I want to try to figure out like what's the most authentic version of my videos that I can make. So that's where that's at. speaking of, if you are watching and are not a subscriber, I would love to have you. As you could tell, I count every subscriber with my, single digit subscribers right now. So any support would be great. Okay, let's actually start stitching here. Can you hear how loud it is? They came into our apartment yesterday to do something with, I think it was plumbing maybe for the people below. And I was like, hey, do you have an estimate for how long it's going to take? And they told me no. And I was like 6 months, like anything. And then they eventually said December, but like, who knows? But one of the guys was like, is it really loud? And I was like, it's not quiet. But it's really good that they have to do it. Like, it's obviously not like these guys like fault or anything. It just is very loud. So that's that. I'm doing a fishbone stitch for this leaf, and I just love a good old fishbone stitch. They're so pretty. They're like easy and pretty, which is the beginner's dream. Also, my husband got me these as like part of a birthday present, but like really just for fun. And they make such a difference. If you're doing a longer project like this, I highly recommend getting some sort of like silicone finger coverings. Okay, so the second kind of like big change from the last time we caught up on one of these sit-in stitches was that I have successfully changed my name. And it's not that hard. I should say I am a U.S. citizen who got married in the United States to another U.S. citizen. And I live in a city, so it's easy to get to the offices I need to get to. But all of that being said, if you are someone who's considering changing your name or not, or like just worried about the steps, it is truly not that hard. I've also heard from friends that those boxes that you buy for like $100, everyone puts them on the registry to change their names, are totally not necessary. I'm going to go through the steps like really quick in case anyone's curious, but my start to finish process was like 1 month. It was technically 2, but like a big part of that was our marriage license getting lost in the mail. But I think like actively working on it, 1 month, you can change your name on everything. Obviously there's like all the estimated timelines, trust them, don't trust me, but it was really easy. So for anyone curious, I want to quickly run through the process because again, it's so easy. All you do is you get legally married. Or I guess I should say, okay, I live in a state where, no, I live in a state. I got married in New Hampshire, and in New Hampshire, your new name is on your marriage license. So if that's not the case for you, this might be trickier. But if you're in a state where your new name is on your marriage license, this is so easy. So you get married. Yay, congratulations. You have your officiant mail in or like submit your marriage information to the state, the like clerk, and you get your marriage license. That's step 1. Step 1 is get your marriage license. I also recommend getting a few extra certified copies. No one has kept my certified copies. Like they mail them back once they've reviewed them and like seen what they need to see to change their name. But it does help speed up the process if you have a couple. So you get that. And then once you have your marriage license, you go online to the Social Security website, fill out a form. They say like, yep, got it. And then you need to go to a Social Security office to actually like submit the rest of your paperwork. That I gotten confused. I thought I needed an appointment, and the appointments are like months out. You don't need an appointment. This is the kind of thing you go, you fill out a form and you submit it in a box at Social Security. So that's easy to do. And you, again, don't need an appointment. So at that point, you have your marriage license and you have your Social Security application submitted. Then you get your Social Security card in the mail, like 10 days later, I would say. Once you have your Social Security card, I live in DC, at least in DC, you need it to do your next step, which is your license. So you go to your DMV. I had to bring my marriage license, my current license, like the one at the time with my old name, and my Social Security card, which was not on their website, but when I got there, I was thankful to have it because she asked for it. So you go with all that paperwork, and they're going to take your photo and give you a new license with your new name on it. Congratulations. Once you have that paper license, you are golden. Everywhere else I needed to change my name, just needed a copy of my license and a copy of the marriage license, maybe the Social Security card. But at that point, you have all the docs you need. And that paper license is your license. So this is the stage where I would do like all of your other changes with your banks, with everything else, because a copy of your license is so easy because it's one-sided, it's just a piece of paper. So you scan that in and you just start, reaching out to everywhere you need to change your name. I started with my bank because I changed it at work, so I wanted my like checks and everything to be fine. I don't know if that was necessary, but that's what I started with. And then I prioritized institutions that give me tax forms. So any sort of like different savings accounts, investments, things like that, if they give you a tax form at the end of the year, I wanted it changed so that my name was correct. So I just went through and did all of that. So your steps are right: wedding, social security card, license, then everything else. So the first 3 steps are sequential, and then you can just start like submitting them everywhere else. The other thing is, once you've done those first 3 steps, or I guess once you've done it might just be your social security card, I don't know, you can Google it, then you can do your passport. I thought that was going to take so long. It says 6 to 8 weeks, but I submitted it, I think it was 2 Mondays ago. They got it on the 20th, maybe the 22nd. Let me check my agenda. Okay. They received it on the 20th of October, and I just got an email yesterday saying that I'll have it in 2 days. So on the 30th. So it took me, 10 days to submit or to get my passport once it was changed. And that wasn't expedited. I just did like normal processing. We have a trip. We have our honeymoon in the end of January, but that like I don't think bumps me up anywhere in the line, even though like I put that we have travel in January. It was so easy. It was pricey. It's like $130 to get a new passport, which I thought was expensive, but you get it. I think it's like for 10 years maybe. So I don't know. It is what it is. And it's one of those things where with all the expenses of wedding planning, I was like, you know what, fine. We can do one more expensive thing. But that was it. And it wasn't that hard. People talk about it being so hard to change your name and really complicated. My main advice is get the certified copies and do it as quickly as possible. Like just keep going through with the steps because they build on each other. Some take a little bit of time, a week or 2. And once you have your marriage license and your license, you're good. And you can just change all of the rest, which might be calling in like having specific, do you have to mail something in as an email? But I don't know. If anyone's hesitant about changing their name because they think it's going to be annoying or hard, it was easy peasy. Okay, I think I heard the drill start up again, so I'm going to make some more progress on this, and I'll come back to talk about my potential Disney trip next week. Okay, this is the update I'm most excited for, which is that me and my mom might be going to Disney next week. So my husband and I drove up to New England this weekend. We were in Connecticut for a Halloween party that was hosted by one of my brothers, and my other 2 brothers were there and all their kids and my parents and then, other friends and family. So it was really fun. And I was talking to my mom and we realized that next week is kind of perfect for both of our schedules to go to Disney World. As you may know, I'm a big Disney fan. I did the college program. I loved it. I loved going as a kid. I don't care. I'm a Disney adult and it's fine. I think it's great. So we were chatting and I just got married. I'm hoping to have a child at some point. And me and my mom, I'm her only daughter. And I don't know, there's something really special about getting to do, not last, but potentially a last mother-daughter trip for a while. And we're thinking maybe we'll go to Disney next week. So we're looking at it right now. My flight is easy. I live in DC to Orlando and back is under $200 round trip. My mom would be flying out of the New York area, so that's a little bit trickier, a little bit pricier. So we'll see if that ends up working out. We don't want to spend a lot on this trip because it's last minute and not very well planned out. So we want to stay at Pop Century, which is our favorite, value resort, mostly because of the Skyliner, but also just the vibes at Pop Century are impeccable. Everyone's so excited. It has sparkly floors. It's really pretty. I don't know. I'm a big fan. And again, the Skyliner is a huge bonus to not have to be on the buses all the time. So yesterday when we were looking, the Pop Century had a preferred room at I think it was $223 a night, which was very reasonable. And it's gone today. It was in my mom's cart. And then it said now the item in your cart is no longer available. So we might let fate decide. And if it pops back up today, we book. And if not, we don't book. But then we plan a trip for February, which is her birthday month. And I think that could be great. We are definitely, my mom is a fan of being at Disney with family members. She wouldn't go on her own, and I totally understand that. But I think of Disney the same way that people think of their like college football teams, since Disney was my favorite experience in college doing the college program. So like I'm such a fan. I just love being there and being surrounded by it. And I would love to like bring you guys along. So I'm hoping it happens, but we'll see. I feel like potentially it's like 60-40 not going to happen. But if it doesn't happen, then February is very likely. I'm having the Olipop cream soda. This was a like nostalgia. My grandmother always had cream soda in her fridge. So I love cream soda, but also the fiber girlies out there know that Olipop is the best of the fiber sodas. So that's the plan today, to like keep looking at pop and seeing. It would be a 3 full day trip. So Monday to Friday of next week, with the park days being Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And me and my mom have gone so many times that like a quick trip is no big deal. We obviously, if this was a once in a lifetime trip, we would plan it better. It would never be like a last minute thing, but we know we'll be back. And the opportunity to spend time together is just like, it's really sweet. She lives like 5 hours away. I should say my mom and dad live 5 hours away. This is sounding like my dad's not in the picture, but my parents are happily married, and my dad would love to come as well, but his schedule is a little bit trickier. He volunteers at our elementary school he's a coach for a program called Odyssey of the Mind, which is like people describe it, I guess it's like a STEM-based club that me and my 3 siblings all did through elementary school, middle school, and high school. And now my dad is helping my cousin coach it's called primary, but an elementary school team in structure building, which, at some point I could get into OM and about the value of it. But all that is to say that my dad has some scheduling conflicts, so he wouldn't be able to come. And without him doing a mother-daughter trip instead of having my husband come along, I think is fun, even though like obviously I would rather have him there. I think that it'll be nice to just do a me and my mom trip. I do think if we move the trip to February, it might have my dad and Curtis, which would also be fun. We've done the 4 of us on a trip before to Disney. I think it was like 2 Octobers ago for my birthday, and it was great. Oh, I just turned 33. That also happened since the last Sit and Stitch. It's just all over the place. I think since it's my last topic, I don't want to like wrap it up. It's too fun chatting. Let me know below if you have any suggestions for going to Disney in November or in 2025 in general. I know there's always lots of changes at Disney, and I used to be really good about sticking up to date with them. There's some podcasts I used to really like, but I've gotten a little bit more behind on that. I will say one podcast I still love is the Disneyville podcast. It's Jessica and Tyler Braun, who are totally inspirations for me, even like starting a YouTube channel. I've been watching Jessica's videos for, I don't know, like 10 years now, and then Tyler's when he started as well. So their podcast is just so fun. I like to listen to it on long walks. I'll do like a morning walk with a cup of tea and then listen to a Disney podcast. It's fantastic. They actually recently did one on, I don't know if it was recent or I just watched it recently, but they did one on Pop Century and all of the wonders and joys of the Pop Century Hotel. If we do end up going to Disney next week, there's some embroidery projects I would want to do beforehand. I made a mock-up of a hat a couple of videos ago. I can link that as well. And I'd want to do a more permanent version. It's more Flower and Garden Festival than Food and Wine, but I just think it's pretty. It's like this Mickey made out of, what are they called? I forget the stitch, but they're like something wheel woven rose, I think I called them there, which is probably wrong. But these pretty simple stitches that are pretty quick. So I want to make a more permanent version of that hat because I just did like a mock-up. So if it happens, I will bring you along for some embroidery projects ahead of Disney. If you have any great embroidery projects that you've done for Disney, I would love to hear about them. I am always looking for suggestions, and I just love seeing what other people are doing with embroidery. I think it's so cool. The other project I want to do, speaking of what other people have done, is I have a pair of black jean shorts that I truly almost never wear them, and I want to make them a little bit Disney themed. So probably like maybe some Mickeys and some stars, we will see. So stick around if you want to see if I end up going to Disney or want to see what Disney projects I do the next time I go to Disney, which will again either be next week or maybe in a couple months. I'm very excited about that possibility. I hope you're able to get some work done on your project. I made some good progress on this leaf. Thanks for sitting and stitching with me, chatting about some life updates. I hope that you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.